Hey everyone. Welcome to AfriHeart Stories, your go-to spot for African tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe and drop a comment. Now sit back and enjoy. The rain was unrelenting, sheets of it drumming the polished roof of the new Lekki duplex like war drums. Ada Adebayo stood barefoot by her expansive living room window, sipping zobo from a wine glass, admiring her reflection against the thunderlit glass. Her phone buzzed. Congrats babe. Lekki wife finally. Read one message. Influencer queen vibes. That kitchen is giving. Said another. She grinned, adjusted the belt of her silk robe, and prepared to take another set of selfies for her new home post when a loud knock interrupted the moment. Bang, bang, bang. The knock was frantic. Ada paused, confused. It was 10:43 p.m., and the estate gates were usually secure. Curious, she padded toward the door, heels clicking softly on the marble. She peeked through the peephole. Outside, barely visible under the dim porch light, stood an old woman, soaked to the skin, one hand clinging to an aluminum crutch, the other shielding her face from the rain. Her lips moved, trembling. Ada unlocked the first bolt, then hesitated. Please, the woman called, her voice muffled by the rain. My legs are weak. The rain. Ada opened the door halfway. Cold wind rushed in, carrying the scent of wet earth and something else, desperation. Who are you? Ada asked sharply, not unkindly but guarded. I was walking. I slipped. Please just shelter, until morning. I don't want to die in the rain. Ada's brow furrowed. She looked behind the woman and noticed a young delivery boy on a bicycle, silently watching under a nearby tree. Her instincts itched. Scammers, thieves, Lagos was wild. No, she said curtly. This is private property. There are shelters in town. Try the gatehouse. She started to shut the door. Please, the woman cried. I have no phone, no money. My legs, please. You can't just show up at people's homes, Ada snapped. Do I know you? The woman tried to steady herself. Her crutch slipped slightly on the wet tile. It's not about knowing me, it's about being human. Ada paused. Her eyes flicked again to the boy under the tree. Was this staged? I'm sorry, she said coldly. I can't help you. And with that she slammed the bronze door shut. Silence returned. Inside, Ada sighed, walked back toward her phone, and tapped her security camera app. She deleted the alert notification that had auto-recorded the doorstep exchange. Then she posed for a photo in her gourmet kitchen captioned, Rainy night but grateful for peace, privacy and progress. Nail polish medium skin tone sparkles #Lekki life #soft living. Outside, under the lashing rain, the old woman slumped against the porch pillar, crutch slipping from her hand. God, she whispered, why must I knock on the door of my own child and be turned away? But the storm swallowed her words. Only the boy under the tree heard, and his phone was still recording. Ada's phone wouldn't stop buzzing. But it wasn't her followers this time, it was her conscience. It crawled up her spine like ants, made her steps uneasy as she walked through the candlelit hallway. The inverter had tripped, and the rain had cut the estate power. She paused, staring at the front door, hearing imaginary knocks echo in her head. The woman's trembling voice haunted her. I don't want to die in the rain. Enough, Ada hissed to herself and turned on music to drown the thoughts. Burna Boy's lyrics thumped through the smart speakers. She returned to the living room and poured another glass of wine when a notification chimed. A gossip page had posted a cryptic teaser. Lekki's queen of content caught in cruel act? Footage drops soon. Eyes. Her chest tightened. No way, she whispered, clicking the link. It was just a blurry thumbnail. No names. Maybe coincidence. Maybe clickbait. She tried to shrug it off, but her nerves flared again when she entered the bedroom. On Chaik's bedside drawer lay an old, faded photo. A young boy, her husband, smiling beside a woman with kind eyes. She'd seen that woman before. Ada's knees buckled slightly. That was the same photo the drenched stranger was clutching. No, she muttered, backing away. It can't be. Her mind raced. Could it really be someone from Chaik's past? Maybe even his. Relax, Ada. It's probably a setup. A scam. She picked up the frame, flipped it. Behind it, scribbled in black pen, Chikamera and Mummy, Okigwe 1998. The room spun for a second. She needed sleep. Or another drink. Or both. Meanwhile, outside, the young courier boy had gently helped the unconscious woman beneath the gardener's shed beside the fence. He laid his coat over her, his hands trembling. I'll tell someone in the morning, he whispered. You'll be okay. But the woman barely stirred. And the storm did not let up. Chike Adebayo stepped out of his SUV into the pouring rain, heart pounding. His phone call with the estate manager had been brief but alarming. "Sir, an old woman was found collapsed by your gate. She's in the clinic now. No ID. Just a photo." Clinic staff ushered him into the small ward where the woman lay unconscious, a thin blanket pulled over her legs. The room smelled of antiseptic and wet clothes. On a table beside her, a nurse pointed at the soggy photograph they'd recovered. Chike's eyes widened. It was him as a boy, hugging a woman. His mother. His breath caught in his throat. Where did she get this? "We were hoping you'd know, Mr. Adebayo. I haven't seen her in 20 years. I thought she was," he stopped himself. "Lost." Back home, soaked and shaken, Chike burst through the door. Ada, lounging on the couch in satin and smugness, looked up. "Welcome back, honey." Abuja was fine. He ignored the question. "Did anyone come to the house while I was away?" he asked, voice tight. Ada blinked. "No." "Why?" "The estate said a woman collapsed outside our gate. She had a picture of me as a child." Ada's face stiffened. "All that? Some beggar, maybe?" "I didn't see anyone." She faked a yawn. "I think the rain scared her off." He stared at her. Something didn't feel right. "I'll check the security footage," he said. Ada's heart skipped. "It's probably gone. The camera resets during storms." But Chike was already scrolling through his phone. What Ada didn't know was that his backup server uploaded footage every night. At the clinic the next morning, the woman stirred. Chike leaned in, gripping her hand. "Mama? Is it you?" The woman's eyelids fluttered. "Chikamera," she whispered. His heart nearly stopped. "Yes, Mama. It's me." She reached for his face. "You've grown so strong. But your eyes, still kind." He was speechless. Later that afternoon he returned to the house, this time with his mother in a wheelchair. He wanted Ada to meet her properly. "Ada," he called, wheeling the woman in, "I have someone to introduce you to." Ada turned and froze. The woman's eyes narrowed with pain. "You." Ada's throat tightened. I'm sorry, She slammed the door in my face," Mama said, pointing a shaking finger. "In the rain. My own son's wife." Chike turned to Ada, shocked. "I didn't know she was your—" "You didn't ask," Mama snapped, voice hoarse but sharp. "You saw a woman suffering and closed your heart." The room fell silent. Chike pulled out his phone. "I have the footage, Ada. I know what you did." Before she could respond, a phone notification pinged loudly. The courier boy had just uploaded the full video. Ada's face was clearly visible. The video went viral overnight. "Wife slams door on elderly disabled woman, and she's her mother-in-law." #cruel wife trended for hours. Ada tried damage control. "It's fake. Deep fake. AI editing." But no one believed her. Inside their home, Chike confronted her, arms folded. "You blocked her number years ago. She tried to call. I found the messages." "She abandoned you," Ada shouted. "I was trying to protect you." "She didn't abandon me," Chike replied, quiet and steady. "You didn't want her in our lives." Ada broke into tears. "I thought she'd ruin everything we built." "You ruined it, Ada." She lost her land after the accident. She had no one else. Meanwhile, a detective investigating the woman's identity confirmed it. Fingerprints matched government records. She was Mama Nneka Adebayo from Okigwe. And then another bomb dropped. A courier blog released screenshots of Ada's deleted security footage attempts. Clear evidence of intent to conceal. Sponsors began pulling deals. Influencer pages unfollowed her in droves. "Maybe I can fix this," she told herself, pacing. She launched a new idea, a charity event rebranded as Hope After the Rain. The gala would spotlight inclusion, forgiveness, and platform Mama as the voice of resilience. But when she pitched it to Chike, he frowned. "If this is just another PR stunt, don't bother." "She said she'll only come," Ada said carefully, "if she's allowed to speak first." Chike raised an eyebrow. "Then let's hear what she has to say." And outside, the storm clouds returned, rumbling with things not yet said. The full video dropped at midnight. By 3 a.m. it had 1 million views. In it, Ada slammed the door, rolled her eyes, and muttered, "Scammers never rest." The comments section exploded. "That's someone's mother. Your husband's no less. She deserves to lose every endorsement. Where's her heart?" #cruel wife topped trends by morning. Screenshots of her influencer brand deals were tagged with boycott campaigns. One beauty brand quietly severed ties, releasing a generic, "We stand for compassion" post. Chike sat beside his recovering mother, phone in hand, jaw clenched. "She hasn't even apologized in person," Mama said weakly, "but the world has." At home, Ada paced like a caged lion. Her live stream apology, filmed in her makeup room, was instantly ratioed. "I never meant harm," she said with misty eyes. "I was tired. I was scared. Lagos is dangerous at night." Troll emojis flooded the comments. "Let me speak to her directly," Ada sighed to herself. Without filters. Without cameras. That evening she stood at Mama's hospital door. A folded piece of paper in hand. She knocked gently. No answer. So she knelt, slid the note under the door and whispered, "I'm sorry." Inside, Mama opened the note. Read. "I was afraid of strangers. Now I realize I was the stranger to love. Forgive me." Mama wiped her eyes. For once, Ada hadn't turned her pain into content. But outside, the internet still boiled. Rumors brewed. Clips leaked. And the courier, still anonymous, promised more. The invitation read, "Hope after the rain, a night of healing and inclusion. Date, Friday 7 p.m. Venue, Grand Sapphire Ballroom." Ada rebranded herself as a changemaker overnight. Her PR team worked overtime. The gala would showcase Mama's story and offer platform to disability advocates. Every tabloid confirmed attendance. A-list influencers RSVP'd. Chike remained wary. "Are you doing this for her, or for your image?" "I'm doing this for us," Ada replied, voice low. "This is bigger than me now." Backstage, Mama was wheeled and wearing soft blue lace, gelly tied by a nurse. She looked regal. "I will speak," Mama said to Ada, "but I won't read any script. I will speak my truth." Ada nodded stiffly. Understood. The ballroom buzzed. Lights, cameras, anticipation. At 8:12 p.m. Mama took the stage. She cleared her throat. "I was once left in the rain. And I forgave. Not because it didn't hurt, but because hurt grows heavier when we pass it on." Crowd murmured in agreement. "I forgive my daughter-in-law," she continued, "because doors should open, not slam." Applause swelled. Ada felt the tension ease. A tear rolled down her cheek. Then, phones began to buzz. A new video dropped. Ada's voice recorded secretly, "Delete the footage. All of it. I don't care, just make it disappear." Gasps echoed. Screens lit up. The damage was instant. Chaos erupted. Guests murmured, pointed. One woman shouted, "She lied." Another walked out. The pianist stopped mid-note. Ada stood frozen in the wings, lips trembling. Then the lights flickered. A loud snap. The generator failed. The ballroom fell into darkness. Screams rang out. Security scrambled with flashlights. Mama's nurse rushed to her. "We need to move her." "No," Mama whispered. "Let her speak." Outside, the storm had returned. Thunder boomed. Ada stumbled through the emergency exit. She stepped into the rain, eyes wild. Reporters followed. "Do you deny the deletion audio, Ada?" "No," she shouted over the storm. "I did it. I panicked. I failed." She climbed the stage erected outside for late performances. "But I am not hiding anymore." Cameras rolled. "I slammed a door. But now I leave it open. For her. For anyone I once ignored." She raised her arms. Rain soaked her hair and dress. A crack of lightning silhouetted her against the ballroom. Then, a transformer behind the venue exploded in a flash of blue light. Screams again. Lights popped. The image, Ada soaked in confession beneath a lightning sky, froze on millions of live streams. A new hashtag rose. Hashtag open the door. The moment that nearly broke her made her legend. The morning after, newspapers carried headlines like, "From shame to salvation? Ada DeBeo, the influencer who fell and stood again?" But the nation was split. Some called her brave. Others, a fraud repackaging guilt as branding. Ada declined all interviews except one, a breakfast show with a reputation for hard questions. "You tried to erase the past," the host said. "Now you wear it proudly. Why should we trust you?" "I don't expect instant forgiveness," Ada replied. "I expect to work for it." Meanwhile, the Courier released a long-form documentary, The Door We Slammed. It followed Mama's journey from Okigwe to Lagos. Her loss. Her fall. Her dignity. It humanized everything the viral clip didn't. Chike, now quiet and contemplative, resigned as CEO of his tech firm to avoid conflict of interest. Ada stopped making branded content. Instead, she was seen volunteering, silently, anonymously, at a disability center in Ajij. No cameras. No makeup. Just her. One day, a teenage girl with leg braces looked up from painting. "Are you the woman from the Rain video?" Ada nodded, expecting shame. But the girl smiled. "I saw you change. That helped me believe people can." Ada walked away that day in tears. For once, it wasn't the algorithm watching her. It was real people. 2 months later, the nation tuned in. One screen, Ada's emotional interview, raw, makeup-free, speaking directly to viewers. Split screen, the Courier's balanced documentary, airing at the same hour. Ratings shattered records. Ada spoke from her heart. "There's a woman in a hospital bed who gave me a second chance. And I owe her the rest of my life." Mid-interview, the host's earpiece buzzed. He looked startled. "We have a call, live from the ward." Mama's voice came through, trembling but steady. "I forgive you, Ada." Gasps echoed across the studio. Even the host was speechless. "I see your heart now," Mama continued. "And I'm proud of the woman you're becoming." Ada broke down on air. Social media went wild. Brands pledged new donations. Some influencers reversed their stance. But the joy was brief. As Ada left the studio, her phone pinged with a medical alert. "Urgent. Mama Neka Adebayo critical. Return to hospital immediately." Rain had begun to fall again. Ada didn't wait for the driver. She kicked off her heels and ran barefoot through the wet street, heart thudding louder than the thunder. Was forgiveness always this fragile? Would she make it in time? Hospital corridors always felt cold, but that night they bit. Ada burst through the emergency entrance, still dripping from the rain. "Where is she?" she shouted at the nurse's station. "ICU," the nurse answered, eyes wide. "She's critical." Chaik arrived moments later, panic on his face. Together they rushed in. Inside the ICU, machines beeped urgently. Mama lay still, pale, lips dry. Doctors swarmed around her, adjusting wires and reading charts. A young doctor pulled them aside. "Respiratory distress. Her lungs are failing. We've stabilized her, for now. But it's touch and go." Ada sank to her knees. "No, please. She just forgave me. Don't let that be her last breath." The night became a vigil. No social media. No cameras. Just silence and the sounds of machines humming life into someone who had once been abandoned. Around 3 a.m. Mama opened her eyes. "Ada?" she rasped. "Yes, Mama. I'm here." Chaik held her hand. "I want to go back," she whispered. "To Okigwe?" Ada asked. "No," she said with a weak smile. "To the house. The one where you slammed the door." Ada's eyes widened. "I want to return to that doorstep. One last time." "Are you sure?" Chaik whispered. She nodded. "If I don't stand there again, it will haunt me in the next life." The doctor hesitated. "It's risky. But if it's brief, with oxygen support." Chaik looked at Ada. "Do you agree?" Ada nodded, tears streaming. She should face that place on her terms. This time, we opened the door. A week later, an ambulance parked quietly in front of the Lekki duplex. Neighbors peeked from their windows, watching the strange procession. A frail woman on a wheelchair, oxygen tank beside her, flanked by her son and daughter-in-law. The estate security guard, who had seen the original incident, saluted them. Ada stepped forward and opened the bronze door. This time it didn't creak with rejection. Mama was wheeled up to the threshold. She looked at the doormat, the now dry tiles. She pointed. "Right there, that's where I fell." Ada knelt on the spot, hands trembling. "I was blind," she said, "to pain that wasn't mine, and deaf to the voice that carried your blood. Forgive me again, not as the world sees but as your child." Mama placed a hand on her head. "Your repentance already answered my prayer." Chaik looked around. "Let's go inside." But Mama shook her head. "Not yet." She gestured to the neighbors watching. "Call them. Let them see." One by one, residents emerged, curious. Mama stood, slowly, painfully, with Ada supporting her. "To anyone who has ever slammed a door in fear, let this be your turning point," she said loudly. "May your heart open wider than your home." Tears filled many eyes. Volunteers appeared the next day with tools, ramps, and fresh paint. Neighbors chipped in. By week's end, the front steps had a permanent wheelchair ramp. It didn't just change the house. It changed the neighborhood. And rain fell again, this time gentle like blessing. The duplex transformed. What once was Ada's content mansion was now buzzing with purpose. A new plaque read, "The Open Door Hub, Inclusive Creators Welcome." Young artists, disability advocates, and tech startups collaborated inside. Mama oversaw it all from a cozy corner, sipping tea, offering wisdom. But not everyone was happy. Alyamide Ajadai, a rival tech executive and former friend of Chike's, scowled as he watched clips of the transformation. "She's rewriting the narrative," his assistant said. "Not for long," Alyamide sneered. He paid off a disgruntled hospital admin who once worked on Mama's case. The man leaked a forged document claiming Mama was unfit to make legal statements and should be relocated to a care home immediately. The court document was delivered mid-interview while Ada was raising funds for a new center. Shaken, Ada read it aloud on camera. "Patient Nneka Adebayo is medically unfit to reside in a non-clinical facility." Gasps filled the room. "She's in perfect clarity," Ada cried. "This is sabotage." That night, Ada launched a blood donation livestream, urging Nigerians to help struggling hospitals, not only Mamas. Viewers responded in thousands. Even teenagers queued to donate. The forged report was investigated. A whistleblower exposed Alyamide's bribe attempt. An arrest warrant followed. The very storm he tried to start buried him. "And Mama?" She smiled and said, "Some people water weeds but God plants justice." Alyamide was arrested publicly, handcuffed in front of the press. As his photo trended, Ada's team finalized preparations for the Jubilee of Access, a street festival celebrating inclusion and healing. The streets of Lekki came alive with colors, ramps, music, and joyful volunteers. Mama waved from a convertible. Then trouble struck. A court bailiff arrived with a freeze order. All accounts associated with Ada's foundation are to be suspended pending audit. Gasps echoed through the festival. Vendors stopped. Musicians lowered their instruments. "It's Alyamide's allies," someone whispered. "They're hitting back." Ada took the mic. "We didn't come this far to be silenced." She opened a box, held up a brass bowl. "If our accounts are frozen, then let this be our fund. Not digital. Human." One by one, people dropped in cash. Then jewelry. Then checks. The chant began, "Open hearts. Open doors." By nightfall, the brass bowls overflowed. Social media streamed it live. Outrage exploded. The judiciary buckled under pressure. By the next morning, the freeze was lifted. Mama stood beside Ada, arms outstretched. They tried to close the door again. But we widened the wall instead. That night, the festival lit up the Lekki sky. Justice had danced with joy. The courtroom was tense. A case had been filed to fully restore Ada's NGO status and remove all remaining allegations tied to the forged medical claim. Alyamide, now disgraced, sat with his lawyer, fuming. The judge, a stern woman in glasses, flipped through the thick file of documents. "The accused orchestrated medical fraud," she declared. "Intent to manipulate public sentiment and sabotage a non-profit effort." Alyamide's lawyer argued weakly, "It was a misunderstanding." The judge slammed her gavel. "Silence." She turned to Ada. "Your integrity was tested publicly. And you responded not with violence but with service." A cheer rose from the gallery. "This court fully exonerates Ada Adebayo and the Open Door Foundation." Funds were unblocked. Damages awarded. Mama smiled, clapping gently. But one issue lingered: medical bills for 3 newly promised centers. Ada had been offered a lucrative deal from a global streaming service to dramatize the whole story. Millions of dollars. She declined. "I won't turn real people's pain into profit," she said. That afternoon, the governor's office released a statement. "In recognition of her service, we grant the Open Door Foundation a support fund for inclusive development." It wasn't just funding. It was endorsement. And for Ada, it was peace. The first community center broke ground in Ajigunle. What used to be a dump site was now a fenced lot where bricklayers, students, and volunteers labored side by side. Mama named it the Corridor, a place where no one would be left outside. Ada stood beside her, helmet on, raising a shovel in unison with Governor Ayand, who came in person to show support. "We're not just laying blocks," Ada said to the cameras. "We're rebuilding how this country sees access, dignity, and forgiveness." The press applauded. Drones buzzed overhead. But that night, as cement dried and walls rose, the rains returned, this time torrential and unrelenting. By midnight, the new accessibility ramp cracked under water pressure. Volunteers panicked. "Ma, we're going to lose it," one cried. "No," Ada said, grabbing buckets. "We don't quit in the rain anymore." She began scooping out water by hand. One by one, others joined. Soon, a full bucket line formed, students, mechanics, even two retirees from the neighborhood. Someone started streaming it live. #RampRising began trending before dawn. Worldwide, people began donating. International organizations pledged support. By morning, the water had been cleared, the concrete salvaged. And a rainbow rose across the sky, arching over the site like an answer to a long-forgotten prayer. Grand opening day. The crowd was thick. Decorations shimmered in gold and teal. Children in wheelchairs raced across new tiles. Volunteers handed out food. And at the front of the courtyard, a freshly dried ramp gleamed. A hushed silence fell as Mama stood at the base, walker in hand. She took one slow, trembling step. Then another. Gasps turned to cheers. By the sixth step, she raised her head proudly. "This is not just a ramp," she declared. "It's proof that open doors change lives." As she cut the ribbon, Ada turned to Chaik, hand squeezing his. But celebration was short-lived. A phone call came in. A cholera outbreak had erupted in Mama's old village, Okigwe. Contaminated water. Collapsing huts. No health care. Ada's heart sank. "We have to go." Chaik frowned. "You've barely rested." "I can't open one door and leave another shut." They loaded trucks with medicine, tents, and food. Mama pulled Ada aside. "This journey will stretch you. Don't forget, you can't pour from an empty cup." Ada nodded. "Then I'll pour what I can and come back to refill." As the convoy pulled away, thunder rolled again. But this time Ada didn't flinch. She had weathered worse and found her light. The road to Okigwe was worse than expected. Flooded bridges. Washed-out paths. Children crying on the roadside. Ada's convoy crawled through the mud, headlights barely cutting through the fog. At the village square, she stood on a makeshift platform. "We brought clean water, medicine, and hope." Her team set up tents. A mobile clinic. Drones delivered sanitation kits. But tabloids soon arrived, paparazzi hoping to catch Ada in a bad light. "She's cashing in again," one blogger sneered. But Ada ignored them, wiping the brow of a feverish boy herself. One night, while returning from a water delivery, the bridge behind their convoy collapsed. They were stranded. Chaik called in favors from the capital. By morning, the governor's special escort arrived by helicopter. Ada boarded last. As she climbed, her phone buzzed again. "Urgent." Mama relapsed. "Critical. Please return immediately." Her hands shook. "Let's fly now," she yelled. Midair, she clutched her pendant and whispered, "God, not again." Meanwhile, back in Lagos, Mama had requested one thing. Don't let her come back to a closed door. The nurse nodded. "We'll keep it open." As the helicopter descended, Ada's heart raced. Would she be too late, again? The hospital corridor was quiet, but every second screamed. Ada sprinted down the hallway, flanked by nurses. She reached the ICU and threw open the door. Mama was still alive. Breathing shallow, eyes closed, but alive. Ada wept with relief, collapsing at her bedside. "Thank you," she whispered. "Just, thank you." Later that evening, a nurse helped Mama stand with her walker. Slowly, she made her way down the hallway of the private ward, every step live-streamed to supporters. When she reached the ramp at the front entrance of Ada's mansion, now the open-door hub, she paused. "Ready?" Ada asked. Mama smiled. "Let's show them the corridor." She stepped forward. 1, 2, 3 proud steps. Across the marble. Across memory. Into the sunlight. The video shattered streaming records. Viewers around the world watched as an elder once left in the rain now walked through her own doorway, unassisted. Meanwhile, news broke. An earthquake had struck near Port Harcourt, damaging one of Ada's under-construction centers. She turned to Chaik. "I have to go." He nodded. "You've built more than walls now. Others will carry it forward." And they did. Volunteers held the fort. The movement was no longer hers alone. It belonged to everyone with an open heart. The Port Harcourt Center was saved, barely. Concrete patched, beams reinforced, walls repainted. Ada stood before a group of builders and survivors, microphone in hand. "We don't just rebuild," she said, "we reimagine. Because inclusion isn't charity, it's justice." The audience erupted in applause. That week, she received an invitation to speak at the UN Human Dignity Forum in Geneva. Mama's health had stabilized. Chaik was managing the centers at home. It was time. At the Geneva summit, Ada stepped onto the global stage. Her Ankara blazer stood out against the sea of suits. "I was once the woman who slammed the door," she began. "Then I became the woman who left it open. May every slammed door echo into open pathways." Thunderous standing ovation. A video montage played behind her, of community centers, children on ramps, artists on wheelchairs performing across Nigeria. As the speech ended, a final clip showed a hand reaching for a brass knocker, and a door swinging open. Back home, Mama watched proudly from her armchair. Chike sat beside her. "She's done it," Mama said. "No," Chike replied. "She started it." Final frame, a slow pan toward the mansion door as light rain falls. A knock echoes. A hand opens the door. A voice says, "Come in." Hashtag open your door fades onto screen. And with it, so does the past. Liked it? Thumbs up, subscribe and join the AfriHeart fam. Your support fuels our stories. Until next time.